Have you ever wondered what makes certain women absolutely unforgettable? What transforms a casual encounter into a memory that lingers for decades? Today, we're uncovering the secret language of women who understand something profound about human connection, women who don't just pass through men's lives but become permanent residents of their hearts. This isn't about age or appearance. It's about the transformative power of words spoken by those who've mastered the art of touching souls, not just surfaces. These women possess a mysterious magnetism that transcends physical beauty or youthful energy, creating connections that defy time itself. If you've ever been curious about what creates truly unforgettable relationships, or if you want to understand the psychology behind lasting emotional impact, you're about to discover something that might completely change how you think about connection, influence, and the incredible power of the right words at the perfect moment. The foundation of unforgettable connection. Let's begin with a fundamental truth. The most memorable women rarely rely on conventional tactics to create lasting impact. Instead, they've discovered something far more powerful, the ability to make others feel truly seen, understood, and valued at the deepest levels. Picture this scenario. Two women meet the same man. One is younger, follows all the dating rules, and says what she thinks he wants to hear. The other is older, speaks with quiet confidence, and her words seem to see straight through to his soul. 5 years later, guess which woman still occupies space in his thoughts? The difference lies in understanding that we don't remember people for what they looked like. We remember them for how they made us feel. And women who grasp this principle possess an almost supernatural ability to create feelings that become permanent fixtures in another person's emotional landscape. These women have learnt the difference between being heard and being felt. They don't just communicate, they connect on levels that bypass logic and speak directly to the heart. They understand that true influence isn't about convincing someone of something, it's about helping them discover parts of themselves they never knew existed. The power of deep recognition. The first category of unforgettable words centers around recognition, the rare ability to see past masks, pretenses, and carefully constructed personas that most people hide behind. When she says something like, "I see the kindness you try to hide behind that tough exterior," or "I notice how you make sure everyone else is comfortable before worrying about yourself," something profound occurs. She's not making casual observations. She's offering recognition for parts of him that even he might not fully acknowledge. This recognition carries extraordinary weight because it comes from someone with the life experience to be a credible judge of character. When she acknowledges something good in him, it feels genuine because it emerges from wisdom, not inexperienced infatuation. Men who have spent years feeling misunderstood or unseen find this kind of deep recognition almost intoxicating. It's the difference between "you're attractive" and "I love how your entire face changes when you talk about something you're passionate about." One touches the surface, the other reaches the soul. This ability to truly see someone creates a unique form of intimacy, not physical but psychological. She becomes the person who really gets him, who sees beyond the role he plays for the world to the authentic human being underneath. That kind of recognition doesn't fade from memory. It becomes a treasured part of his internal narrative about himself. The art of soul-stirring. Questions. Women who create lasting connections have mastered the art of asking questions that invite vulnerability without demanding it. They understand that meaningful connection deepens through genuine curiosity, expressed in ways that feel safe and welcoming, not interrogating or invasive. Instead of, "What do you do for work?" she might ask, "What's something you're working on that genuinely excites you?" The difference is subtle but profound. The first question invites a resume, the second invites the person behind the profession. These women know that memorable conversations aren't about exchanging information. They're about sharing pieces of soul, They ask questions like, when do you feel most authentically yourself? Or, what's something you believed about yourself as a child that you're still discovering might be true? These aren't casual getting-to-know-you inquiries. They're invitations into deeper territory, asked by women who possess the emotional maturity to handle whatever answers emerge. They create conversations that feel different from anything he's experienced, conversations that resonate long after they've ended, creating a hunger for more of that rare depth and understanding. The magic isn't just in the questions themselves, but in the genuine curiosity behind them and the safe space she creates for authentic answers. She listens not to respond, but to truly understand, making him feel heard in ways that are both unusual and addictive. Unconditional support with wisdom. Perhaps nothing creates more lasting impact than the experience of unconditional support delivered with hard-earned wisdom. When she says something like, "I believe in your ability to figure this out, even when you don't believe it yourself," she's offering something precious. Faith without conditions, grounded in real understanding of human resilience. This isn't blind optimism or empty cheerleading. It's informed confidence based on her understanding of human potential and her observation of his particular strengths. She doesn't try to solve his problems or remove his challenges. Instead, she affirms his capacity to handle whatever he's facing. The power lies in the distinction between "don't worry, everything will be fine," and "I've watched how you handle difficult situations, and I trust your ability to navigate this too." One dismisses the struggle. The other acknowledges it while expressing faith in his resilience. This type of support becomes unforgettable because it builds strength rather than dependency. She's not positioning herself as his savior, but as someone who sees his own heroic potential. Men remember women who made them feel more capable, not less, who reflected back their own power rather than trying to become their source of strength. The lasting impact comes from the realization that someone with her wisdom and experience genuinely believed in him during moments when he struggled to believe in himself. That kind of faith, once experienced, becomes a permanent part of how he sees his own capabilities. Perspective. Without judgment, women who create lasting connections have learnt to offer perspective without judgment, sharing wisdom in ways that feel like gifts rather than corrections. When she says something like, "From where I'm sitting, it looks like you might be being harder on yourself than necessary," she's offering a different lens without making him wrong for his current viewpoint. This requires tremendous emotional sophistication. It's the ability to see patterns and possibilities while remaining humble about her insights. She shares experience without attachment to being right, and offers wisdom while staying curious about his unique situation. This approach is revolutionary for most men because it's so rare. Usually, when people offer advice or perspective, they do so with an agenda. They want to be right, helpful, or needed. But she offers perspective as a gift with no strings attached, no requirement that it be accepted or acted upon. The unforgettable quality comes from the feeling of being offered wisdom rather than being corrected. She presents alternative viewpoints as possibilities to consider, not truths to accept. This creates space for him to maintain his autonomy while benefiting from her insight, a rare combination that feels both supportive and respectful. Her perspective carries weight not because she insists on it, but because it comes from genuine care combined with the credibility of lived experience. She's not trying to change him. She's simply offering another way of seeing that might serve him better. Authentic vulnerability and storytelling. Women who leave lasting impressions understand the incredible power of authentic vulnerability expressed through meaningful storytelling. They don't share experiences to impress or position themselves as having all the answers. They share to create connection and demonstrate that they understand the complexity of being human. When she tells a story about a mistake she made and what she learned from it, she's doing something profound. She's modeling vulnerability, demonstrating growth and creating space for him to be imperfect too. She shows that wisdom comes not from avoiding mistakes, but from learning from them with grace and honesty. These stories aren't carefully crafted presentations. They're genuine glimpses into her humanity. She might share how she once let fear stop her from pursuing something important, or how she learnt to forgive herself for a significant failure. The power lies not in the drama of the story, but in the authenticity of the sharing. Men remember women who revealed their real struggles and real growth because it made them feel less alone in their own imperfections. They remember thinking, finally, someone who understands what it's really like to be human, flawed, learning, and still worthy of respect and love. This vulnerability creates profound intimacy because it demonstrates that she's not performing perfection or maintaining a facade. She's real, relatable, and human, which gives him permission to be the same. That permission, once granted by someone he respects, becomes a treasured gift he associates with her forever. Emotional intelligence and regulation. Perhaps the most unforgettable quality these women possess is sophisticated emotional intelligence, the ability to read emotions accurately, respond appropriately, and create emotional safety through their presence. This isn't about being a therapist. It's about being emotionally available and responsive in natural, genuine ways. When she notices stress in his demeanor and says, "You seem like you have a lot on your mind. You don't have to talk about it, but I want you to know I'm here if you want to." She's offering something precious, emotional availability without pressure or agenda. This emotional intelligence manifests in countless subtle ways. She knows when to listen and when to speak, when to offer advice and when to simply be present, and when to challenge and when to support. She reads the room, the moment, and the person with accuracy that comes from years of paying attention to the subtle languages of human emotion. Equally important is her emotional regulation, her ability to remain centered even during his emotional storms. She doesn't get swept up in drama or destabilized by his struggles. Instead, she offers a steady presence that allows him to experience his emotions without fear of overwhelming her or having to manage her reactions too. This combination of emotional intelligence and regulation creates profound comfort. Instead of having to explain his emotional state or defend his feelings, he finds himself with someone who simply gets it, someone who can meet him where he is emotionally without trying to move him somewhere else. The confidence of self-worth women who create lasting impact carry a particular type of confidence, not the loud, attention-seeking confidence of insecurity, but the quiet, steady confidence of someone who knows her own worth. This self-assurance permeates everything she says and doesn't say, creating a magnetic quality that's both attractive and calming. She doesn't need constant validation or reassurance. She doesn't fish for compliments or create drama to feel important. When she says something like, "I enjoy spending time with you and I also enjoy my own company," she's expressing healthy independence that many find irresistible. This confidence allows her to be generous with attention and affection without being desperate for it in return. She can celebrate his successes without feeling threatened, support his growth without fearing he'll outgrow her, and love freely without clinging to specific outcomes. The unforgettable quality lies in how this feels to experience. Men remember women who didn't need them but chose them. They remember the refreshing feeling of being wanted rather than needed, appreciated rather than depended upon. They remember how liberating it felt to be with someone who brought her own completeness to the relationship. This self-possession creates space for authentic choice in the relationship. Because she's not coming from neediness or desperation, her interest feels genuine and her presence feels like a gift rather than an obligation. That distinction between being chosen and being needed creates memories that last lifetimes. Perfect timing and presence. One of the most sophisticated skills these women possess is timing, knowing when to speak and when to remain silent, when to be available and when to create space, when to push gently and when to step back completely. This wisdom typically emerges from years of experience understanding human psychology and relationship dynamics. She knows that the most powerful words are often those spoken at exactly the right moment. When she offers encouragement, it comes precisely when he needs to hear it. When she challenges him, it's at the moment he's ready to grow. When she remains silent, it's because silence serves the situation better than words. This timing isn't calculated or manipulative. It flows from genuine attunement to the person and situation. She's learnt to read emotional climates, to sense when someone is ready for input and when they need space to process. Her responses feel perfectly calibrated because they emerge from deep listening and authentic care. Equally important is her quality of presence. She knows how to be fully present with someone without overwhelming them, how to offer her complete attention without creating pressure or intensity. When she's with him, she's truly there, not distracted, not performing, not thinking about what to say next. This combination of perfect timing and quality presence creates experiences that feel almost magical. He finds himself thinking, how did she know exactly what I needed to hear? Or, I've never felt so completely seen and understood. Those moments of perfect attunement become treasured memories that define how connection should feel. The wisdom of appropriate challenge. While acceptance and support are crucial, women who create lasting impact also understand when and how to challenge appropriately. They know the difference between supportive challenge and destructive criticism, between helpful feedback and hurtful judgment. When she says something like, "I wonder if you're selling yourself short," or "What would happen if you trusted yourself more?" she's offering a challenge that feels supportive rather than critical. She's not attacking his choices or questioning his judgment. She's inviting him to consider new possibilities for himself. This type of challenge is powerful because it comes from belief rather than doubt. She's not challenging him because she thinks he's inadequate. She's challenging him because she sees potential he might not recognize. The challenge feels like an invitation to growth rather than criticism of his current state. The unforgettable aspect lies in how rare this experience is. Most people either accept everything uncritically or criticize destructively. She offers something different, thoughtful challenge rooted in genuine care and belief in his capabilities. She sees who he could become and invites him to see it too. This kind of challenge stays with him because it plants seeds of possibility. Long after the conversation, he finds himself wondering, what if she's right? What if I am capable of more than I think? That wondering becomes a catalyst for growth, and she becomes forever associated with his expanding sense of what's possible for his life. Creating anticipation and mystery. Women who understand lasting connection know how to create healthy anticipation, not through games or manipulation, but through understanding the psychology of desire and connection. They know how to be fully present when together, while maintaining an intriguing sense of independence when apart. She might end conversations at natural high points rather than letting them drag on endlessly. She leaves certain things unsaid that create curiosity. She hints at depths that haven't been fully explored, adventures that might be shared, and conversations that could continue to unfold in fascinating directions. This isn't about being unavailable or playing hard to get. It's about understanding that constant availability often diminishes attraction, while appropriate mystery can enhance it. She maintains her own life, interests, and passions, which gives her something interesting to bring to their interactions. The anticipation she creates is positive and exciting rather than anxious or uncertain. He finds himself looking forward to their next conversation, wondering what she might share, curious about her thoughts on various topics. She becomes associated with discovery, growth, and the excitement of unfolding connection. This quality of creating anticipation makes her unforgettable because she becomes linked with positive emotions about the future. She's not just someone he enjoyed spending time with. She's someone who made him excited about what might unfold between them, what he might discover about himself in her presence. The integration of wisdom and love, ultimately, women who stay in hearts forever have learnt to integrate wisdom and love in ways that create transformative connections. They can see clearly without judging harshly, understand deeply without trying to control, and care genuinely without losing themselves in the process. This integration doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of years of experience, reflection, and conscious growth. It emerges from having made mistakes and learnt from them, having loved and lost and learnt to love more wisely, and having observed human nature in all its complexity, and choosing to respond with both understanding and compassion. When she speaks from this integrated place, her words carry a weight and authenticity that transcends their surface meaning. They emerge from a deep understanding of what it means to be human, what creates healing and growth, and what builds lasting connections between souls. She offers the rare combination of acceptance and challenge, support and independence, love and wisdom. She creates safety for vulnerability while inspiring growth, and offers comfort during struggles while believing in his strength to overcome them. This integration makes her unforgettable because it represents what most people spend lifetimes seeking. Someone who can love them fully while seeing them clearly. Someone who accepts their humanity while believing in their potential. Someone who offers both sanctuary and inspiration. The women who create lasting impact aren't necessarily the youngest or most conventionally beautiful. They're the ones who've learnt to speak the language of the soul, who understand that connection happens through recognition, acceptance, and authentic understanding rather than surface-level attraction or performance. These women have discovered that the most powerful force in human connection isn't beauty or youth, it's wisdom applied with genuine care. They've learnt that the words creating lasting impact aren't the most eloquent, but those emerging from authentic understanding and real appreciation for human complexity. Most importantly, they've realized that creating unforgettable connections isn't about strategy or manipulation. It's about becoming someone whose natural way of being creates safety, whose authentic self inspires growth, and whose genuine care builds bridges between hearts. The qualities we've explored aren't scripts to memorize, but expressions of a deeper way of being, moving through the world with wisdom, compassion, and authentic care for fellow humans. These women don't try to be unforgettable. They simply show up as their wisest, most authentic selves. If this exploration has resonated with you, remember that wisdom isn't something you're born with. It develops through experience and reflection. Emotional intelligence isn't fixed. It's cultivated through practice and genuine care for others. The ability to create lasting connections isn't a mysterious talent. It's the result of choosing authenticity, developing empathy, and committing to real understanding. Every interaction offers an opportunity to practice these principles. Every conversation is a chance to listen more deeply and respond more authentically. Whether you're 25 or 65, growth never stops, and every day offers new possibilities for creating meaningful connections. Thank you for joining this exploration. The women who stay in hearts forever aren't performing magic. They're practicing the human arts of understanding, acceptance, and authentic care. These are skills any of us can develop, ways of being any of us can choose. Remember, the most powerful words aren't designed to impress. They emerge from genuine understanding and care. The most unforgettable people don't try hardest to be remembered. They focus on truly connecting with whoever stands before them. Until next time, may your words be thoughtful, your presence healing, and your connections authentic and deep. The Heart remembers not what you said, but how you made someone feel. Make it count.